What is up, denizens of the interwebs? It's Arza Chats here coming at you with another video, and this time we're talking about the unfortunate state of the next Ghost of Tsushima game. Now, yesterday during the PlayStation State of Play, we were shown the new Ghost of Tsushima game, Ghost of Yotei, which it looks pretty good from at the very beginning, but once you look at the main character, it all becomes a little concerning. And this game is absolutely tearing up the counterculture side of social media, and with a lot of infighting happening between groups such as Nina Infinity and Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers, who are butting heads. One group of people are very hopeful and don't think there's any red flags. One other side is acknowledging the red flags, and some of them are even taking the red flags a little far. But to act like the red flags don't exist at all would be a little too naive for my liking. So like, subscribe, and let's get into this. So all of the problems regarding Ghost of Yotei is mostly coming from the main protagonist. More specifically, her actress. No one's really upset that the protagonist is a woman per se, but everyone is highly suspicious about the woman who's playing her. And that woman is activist first, voice actress second, Erika Ishii. And while I have enjoyed her in some of her roles, since I really liked her as Valkary in Apex Legends, I would be a fool not to admit all of the flaws with her as a person, especially when it comes to her identity. She is very proudly lesbian and gender fluid, and will scream at anyone who misassociates any of that, and is incredibly rude to people online. And this is all first coming from Smash JT. Ghost of Tsushima sequel takes a troubling turn, Ghost of Yotei concerns. And the first thing he mentions is that Ghost of Tsushima is one of the greatest games ever made. I have played 60 hours of Ghost of Tsushima, and I'm nowhere near done. They've pushed out a patch that makes it so my computer doesn't seem compatible with Ghost of Tsushima right now, so I'm waiting for them to fix it so I can finish the game. But that being said, it is still one of the best games I've ever played, and if you haven't played it, you should buy it. It's worth $70, and if you can get it on sale, even better, but you shouldn't just wait till it's on sale. You should get it right now. It's such a good game. But like I said, the crux of the issue isn't the video itself, it's the actress. The lead in Ghost of Yotei is Erika Ishii, a queer journalist activist, and being an activist looking to change the game industry. And this is something that she tweets about constantly, such as in this tweet down here: "I'd really love to see Netflix cast a non-binary gender fluid actors Ed and Cowboy Bebop. It just makes sense." And just all she does is she talks about sexuality. She is an embarrassment to the LGBT community admittedly, and that's all she does, is all she talks about is sexuality. It's sexuality this, race that. It's all narcissism, and it's all about herself. And I have to agree with Smash JT here. While I would typically trust Sucker Punch and give them the benefit of the doubt, this casting decision feels troubling, especially in today's landscape where games seem to be increasingly catering to that non-existent modern audience at the cost of narrative integrity. And that's the important thing. It's appealing to the modern audience and to wokeism at the cost of narrative integrity, because no one really cares if something is woke and good, like the first 2 seasons of Sabrina, the first 3 seasons of The Boys. They were woke, but they were really good. It's the fact that woke usually means bad. The woke is a warning sign that what we're watching will be bad, and that is where the problem comes in. And I also have to agree with Smash JT here. I am also all for diversity when it's done right. I like to see everyone represented on screen in the appropriate measure and done fairly. I don't think anyone should be tokenized, and I don't think anyone should be ignored just for who they are. If you can put them in legitimately and in a very honorable way, I have nothing wrong with anyone being seen on screen. And then Smash JT points out down here, casting an actor in a game doesn't necessarily mean the game is going to be woke, but let's be honest, more often than not, it seems to head in that exact direction, and when you dig into Erika Ishii's social media presence, yikes, that concerns only deepens. And this is very true. Her tweets are super concerning on all levels. I have a few of them saved myself, so let's go ahead and take a look at some of those. Now, most of these tweets are coming from Learning the Law, who is doing an amazing job of archiving a lot of her tweets, even though she's gone and blocked most people off of social media. Now, somehow I haven't been blocked, but I don't have the time to dig through her tweets myself, so I'm going to look at most of what Learning the Law has posted himself. First of all, the big concern is that she's also going to be one of the main rooks in Dragon Age the Veilguard, and we all see how that's happening over there, so how are we not to be worried that what's happening in Dragon Age Veilguard isn't going to come over here, given the fact that she has the same kind of presence in both roles? She also made this tweet back in 2020, "I am privileged to go running and generally live my life without fear, knowing my safety due to this color of my skin. It's right everyone deserves. Demand justice for those who live oppressed." No one is at risk of jogging because of their skin color. It's not a thing that's happening. It's a pure delusion. Another tweet Learning the Law acquired: "If you show your racist ass about the talented Asian American actors on certain big franchises that is finally casting ethnically appropriately, I will boot you from my community so fast I swear to Genova." And now please support indigenous communities. Let's start to help right the history of wrongs that Columbus only started. And this is an important one that I'll be getting back to later when it comes to talking about that article from The Gamer. Here are some more tweets. I also can't help but notice that the article focused mostly on the mechanics of our game and not which Pokemon is most fuckable, which we spent far more time on in that episode, but fine, I guess I'll be the one that just keeps focusing on the important questions. I don't even know what I just read. Abolish the police is unconscionable to allow the racist institution that terrorizes the citizens they are sworn to protect. Abolish the police. Look, now is the time to reach across the aisle to Trump supporters and tell them to fuck racism, homophobia, and fascism. That's not a difference of political ideology. That is oppression, and we reject it. Drunk guy got in my space at an arcade to ask, "Are you single?" while I was playing rhythm game. I should have, dude, if you bother me while I'm playing a game, I will kick your fucking ass. My girlfriend and them fatale. I'm going to kill myself in Minecraft and then real life. Walked up to flank me. Haven't seen him since. Well, yeah, when you tell someone no and reject them, they usually leave you alone. That's how most people behave. So while I'm all for separating the art from the artist, I really have to wonder if this artist can separate herself from her art. And that's the big problem. I'm perfectly fine with someone having different beliefs than me if what they create is good. And I understand that most creators have different beliefs than me. The problem is exclusively when they insist on putting their beliefs into their art in such a heavy-handed way, like we have seen with so many other Sony games, such as Concord, The Last of Us 2, and many other woke disasters. And over here at That Park Place, Jonathan Trent collects a whole bunch of other quotes that really just further dig this well deeper and deeper into hell. She has spent a significant amount of her time trying to convince people to donate money to organizations that sole job is to give gender-affirming care to black women and turning them into men and vice versa. She also claims that the police are all white supremacists, and Ishii isn't the only seeming problem. Sucker Punch hired former Insomniac Games community manager and Sweet Baby Inc. defender, who had stated that they were incredibly excited to announce that today is their first day at Sucker Punch as a community manager in this tweet from 2024 in April 15th. And as for what they defended, they said that the whole Sweet Baby controversy is mind-numbingly dumb, to which I have to agree. The fact that any game industry is hiring Sweet Baby Inc. in the first place is absolutely mind-numbingly dumb, and the fact that anyone is defending Sweet Baby Inc. is mind-numbingly dumb as well. And I want to be very clear, for any of the freaks who decide to come after me in the comments, I don't have an issue with female samurai. I think there's a lot you can do there. Such as Lady Eboshi from Princess Mononoke, one of the coolest villains Studio Ghibli has ever had, and one of the best anime villains from a movie I've ever seen. Her character is so heavily layered for the short amount of time she's on, and she makes up for her lack of strength in that she's a woman by using firearms and a lighter sword that allows for more nimble movements that most of the male fighters can't keep up with. And we did see the protagonist of Yotei using a gun, so maybe they will be going to that route, and maybe they will be genuine, and will actually account for the fact that women don't fight the same way as men do. But I'm severely doubting it given everything we're seeing, and I'm sure that this is actually going to be filled with the politics. And that leads me over to this highly concerning article from The Gamer that I fear might be correct. And if it is, it further proves how little faith anyone should have in this game. Ghost of Tsushima fans might have figured out Yotei's story from James Stroughton. And the whole point of this article is they're discussing how that given the time period of this game, there seems to be a bit of a relationship between an indigenous group living in the mountains of Japan and the rest of the Japanese people that were constantly at war and had a very rocky relationship before the entire indigenous group got wiped out. Even though all of the people of Japan are indigenous to Japan. In 1590, Hideyoshi Toyotomi, one of the three unifiers of Japan, commissioned the Matsume clan to take over the island of Hokkaido, occupied by the Ainu people, and defended against what he saw as barbarians holding back the unification of the country, being the Ainu people. The Matsume clan built their fortress south of Oshima Peninsula, then moved north to establish trading posts. The colonization involved the massacre of all Ainu who opposed the samurai advance. The game is set in 1603 on Mount Yotei in the heart of Oshima Peninsula. I think that's where our heroine comes in. The first Ainu war against the Matsume didn't take place until 1669. In fact, the game takes place the year before Matsume even began trading with the Ainu, which was a huge turning point in the Ainu history as it marked the moment in which the other Japanese clans stopped trading with them altogether. Given that we're stepping foot into this region in 1603, long before the first major conflicts, fans speculate that we will play the role of Ronin in a frozen Wild West against the mercenaries and bandits profiting off Japanese colonization. Rather than fighting major conflict, defending the island from invaders, perhaps Atsu will wander from town to town, helping the Ainu in their struggles against Matsume advances. Instead of standing for Japanese against the Mongols, Atsu would stand for the indigenous people. And that's where I would like to remind you of this tweet, the one about standing up for the wrongs Christopher Columbus did. So no, I have absolutely zero hope in this game, and I'm convinced that she is going to dominate. Because if you remember, Sucker Punch is owned by Sony. Whatever Sony wants, Sucker Punch has to do. And Sucker Punch is currently at the very top, right next to Ubisoft, as the most woke gaming studio. So I have zero faith that they aren't going to go head first into all of the DEI infected stuff, with several people even suspecting that they might be putting LGBT themes into this game, because every single character that Erika Ishii has played has been confirmed LGBT or hinted at LGBT. The only one I'm not sure about being confirmed is Sector from Mortal Kombat 1, and I'm going to get into that in just a second because, my god, she is almost certainly one of the major problems with it. And if what her character is like in Mortal Kombat 1 is any indication, I severely doubt we're going to get anything good from Ghost of Yotei. For those of you who don't know, Mortal Kombat has several characters who are cyborgs, and they started out as ninja members of the Lin Kuei clan who were turned into cyborgs so that they could compete with the other clans of ninjas and fight against more enemies, as well as turn them into one solid unit and a hive mind. Now, Sector is the character who's being played by Erika Ishii, and I figured I would read through a couple of their bios from the different games. And of course, Sector started out as a human who was a man who got turned into a robot. So his bio from Mortal Kombat 3: before his transformation into a cybernetic assassin, Sector was a dark and powerful ninja. His understanding of fire and explosives made him great asset to the Lin Kuei. The skills he possessed and his aggressive nature made him unstoppable in battle. Because of Sector's unchallenged loyalty to his clan, he volunteered for automation without a second thought. His loyalty to the Lin Kuei would soon change. And of course, he's a 30-year-old-ish ninja who has been with the Lin Kuei since he was a little kid, training aggressively, and he became one of the best pyrotechnics in the Lin Kuei, as well as one of the better armorers. In Mortal Kombat 9, the son of the Grand Master was never questioned that Sector would join the Lin Kuei. What pleases the Grand Master is the degree to which his son relishes the life of an assassin. The secretive clan allows Sector to express his darker nature, using any means necessary to complete his tasks. Hired by Shang Tsung, his current assignment is to tend to the Mortal Kombat tournament and eliminate Earthrealm competitors before they have a chance to compete. Though this mission will put his clan in good standing with Shao Kahn, Sector's ultimate goal is to supplant his father as Grand Master of the Lin Kuei. Both of them fully evil. They're completely dark and psychopathic people who have the only goal of making the world better for themselves and damaging everyone along the way. They are tyrants just trying to get into their position. They are completely and utterly volatile and dangerous and should not be trusted. Now, Ishii's version of Sector is the master armor of the Lin Kuei. Sector grew up immersed in Lin Kuei culture. Her mother was a leading warrior and her father was a master armorer. Sector marveled at his flawless work. Apprenticing with him, she eventually surpassed her father's skills. When he retired, she took his place. But Sector also wanted to honor her mother's legacy. Now her vast knowledge of weaponry and her formidable martial arts make Sector a combatant like no other. Sensing Sector was her kindred spirit, Sub-Zero shared with her his grand vision for the Lin Kuei's future. She joined his efforts immediately. Now Sub-Zero's most trusted lieutenant, Sector will force the Lin Kuei to evolve. Those who cannot change will be eliminated. So just to be clear, they sex-swapped Sector, made her the bestest ever, made her the greatest armorer and one of the greatest combatants at a very young age. I believe the character is only in her 20-somethings, is the second highest ranking in Sub-Zero's Lin Kuei, and isn't even a robot. She's in a mech suit. See, in Mortal Kombat 9, Sector relied on a rocket launcher and flamethrower built into his costume. In Mortal Kombat 1, Sector is using a magical Iron Man suit that looks utterly stupid. It's all in violation of everything. The character is of nothing like Sector. It's a complete violation of the character Sector. She shares none of his personality traits. She shares none of his design traits other than the colors, the use of fire and rockets, but those even look completely different. None of it's the same. She might as well be the Iron Spider for the way that her abilities look. It's absolutely terrible, and it's complete and utter disingenuity, and it's absolutely disrespectful to the source material that came before it. And so no, I will not be giving this game the benefit of the doubt. I love Ghost of Tsushima. It's one of the greatest games of all time. And when this first came out, I was like, okay, they deserve a little bit of the benefit of the doubt. I will give them time, and I will hear them out. I will start out by trusting them because I really liked what they did with Ghost of Tsushima. But now it's completely obvious that that's a folly. You shouldn't trust Ghost of Tsushima because it's clear that Sony has invested them and Sweet Baby Inc. has invested them. DEI is the primary focus of this game. That is obvious. And you know what? I pray that I'm wrong. I pray to God that I am wrong and that this game will be perfect and just as good as Ghost of Tsushima. I pray that the DEI isn't in there, and if it is, it's well done and it's justified and it's done with the best intentions at heart. But there is absolutely nothing to give me that hope. They do not deserve my hope because I have given the benefit of the doubt time after time again, and every time I have been betrayed. I will not be giving them the benefit of the doubt because guess what? I gave Mortal Kombat 1 the benefit of the doubt. 1 year ago, Mortal Kombat 1 was my most hyped for game. I love Mortal Kombat. It is my favorite fighting game. It is the game that I have the most hours in of all games. Every Mortal Kombat game I have put countless hours into, and I had all the hope and I gave them all the faith, especially with the new Sector and Cyrax. I was willing to give it a try and hear it out, and they completely betrayed all of that. So how can I believe that someone who's willing to betray everything from a character they're playing in its Mortal Kombat in a significantly more established brand, how can I trust that they aren't going to force that into Ghost of Tsushima? There is nothing in there that gives me any faith or give me any hope because no one is doing anything to give me any faith. And worst of all, when your social media plan is to block anyone who even mentions the game, positive or negative, you lose even the strongest of support that you had. A lot of people who were defending you in people's comments are immediately backtracking that support because you block them without even considering what they're saying. You're just mass blocking everyone because you are too fragile of a person to hear what they have to say. And I really hope this game either goes under massive rewrites and changes to fix it, or I hope it flops like every other woke game deserves to do. So it's up to you. Will this game flop or will it not? You get to decide based on how you write it, how you force your identity into the game, and I really hope you push it all the way in there, because I need more clicks, and the best way to get those is to put another friggin' waste of DEI into a game, to kill the perfect brand, to kill a game that people were hoping would become a multimedia brand, because Ghost of Tsushima has that potential, and if by you putting your identity into it, you are guaranteeing that the game dies. And you know what? I welcome it. Let me know in the comments if you are giving Sucker Punch the benefit of the doubt. If you are, that's perfectly fine. But if not, I'd love to hear it. And thanks you guys for coming along and watching. And let's just hope that they get what they fucking deserve.